Today on the Gold Standard.
This is not an environment, people, where it's clear sailing. Not at all. And you have to be very, very careful about the wealth that you've accumulated or inherited, or maybe you just made some good investments, or maybe you just got lucky. It doesn't matter. All you can do is consider how you could hold on to a piece of it, not lose it all when all of this comes apart, and it will.
This is the Gold Standard from Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. Hello, I'm Dave Deno. Welcome to the Gold Standard, your source for secure investment opinion and information on the advantages of purchasing and owning precious metals. Whether you're a novice investor or an experienced collector, this is the program that gives you a realistic weekly perspective on the state of the economy, reliable information about using precious metals such as gold, silver, and platinum to safeguard your wealth, and remarkable details about specific precious metal coins and bullion. Ken Russo is a senior vice president at Midas Gold Group. His peers characterize him as a straight shooter who will work harder for you than anyone else. Hey, Ken, it is a pleasure to join you again this week.
Nice to be with you as always, Dave.
Our topic is how to buy gold and silver. And this is a particularly timely subject in light of the latest economic news. Let's begin our time together today with just a brief review of some of that news and its relation to owning gold and silver. First, the Fed raised interest rates another 0.75%. And my question is, how much, Ken, have they now raised rates so far this year?
Interest rates have doubled pretty much since February or March timeframe, and everybody seems to be focused by that. They've raised interest rates by 2.25 percentage points.
Wow.
Which is the most, Dave, since in a single year since 1994. And more hikes are on the way. That's very likely, though the pace of those upcoming increases is far from certain. So as it goes back to what you and I were talking about before, what they inflated for years from abnormally low interest rates, they are now setting sights on deflating that bubble. And that's where people need to be very careful. And, while they're deflating this big asset bubble of stocks, bonds, and real estate, how do you hold on to your purchasing power? How do you not lose everything you've made and saved to this point when we do enter a financial crisis? And that's exactly, Dave, where gold and silver comes in. So let's remember the focus. How do we protect our purchasing power with the ownership of physical precious metals like gold and silver?
Okay, 0.75% in the latest hike, 2.25% for just the single year to date. I mean, that's quite a jolt, both to the economy and to our personal finances, because what we don't think about is that the higher interest rates gets passed down in line right to us, the consumer.
Well, that's exactly right, Dave. You will see even higher rates on credit cards, car loans, mortgages, both fixed and adjustable rates, private student loans, and the cost to, businesses of borrowing money. So, Dave, most of those will impact us immediately in debts we already have. As interest rates rise, your dollar is supposed to be stronger and worth more. That's what it says fundamentally. But go to the gas station, go to the grocery store, pay your bills. I mean, our fiat money buys less and less and less. Not to mention the cost of borrowing with all of these interest rate changes, Dave, for businesses will also be passed down, in the cost of goods and services to customers, raising them even further. So this is not going away anytime soon. So they can talk about whatever they want. They can call the economy whatever terminology or definition that they want. The bottom line is this economy is headed for a very difficult time. And the answer is not printing money out of thin air, which is their only answer. This week, what did we see? Inflation Reduction Act, $280 billion chip bill. So how many trillion did we spend and borrow that we didn't have this week? It's only going to make it worse. Not to mention, Dave, the Fed is trying to slow down this inflation. They're teetering between cooling rampant buying and avoiding a recession. Is there going to be an easy landing? Blah, 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 blah. We are officially because of the second quarter in a row, a decline in GDP, we're officially in a recession. That's the official definition of a recession. Even though our leaders, Dave, in the White House refuse now to acknowledge the official definition of a recession. But like I said, I don't care what we call it. We all know what's going on up there. We all know that this financial system with all this debt is a house of cards. And the question is, how can you protect your retirement accounts? How can you protect your cash reserves? How could you protect your paper assets from losing all of that buying power when all of this comes apart, when this house of cards comes tumbling down?
You mentioned bottom line, Ken. Let's go back to that. What does this all mean to the value of our savings or the value of our investments?
Well, I mean, anything could happen in a short period of time, but over time, we would expect that, stocks, bonds, and real estate lose significant value. And the question why is, those markets, Dave, were a direct beneficiary of all of this fake money that's been created over the last 15, 20 years. They were a direct beneficiary of abnormally low interest rates. The Fed chose inflation years ago when they could have raised interest rates, but they didn't. They abnormally kept interest rates low for a significant amount of time. And that has come back to lead to the biggest bubble in the history of bubbles. So we have to be very careful here that our stocks and our bonds and our real estate, once this bubble pops, don't lose significant value. And that's why it's so important, Dave, that investors out there and regular people take some of their cash reserves, get it out of the banking system, take some of their investments, get it out of the markets, protect some of their retirement accounts, move it sideways, tax-free, into physical gold and physical silver, so they know no matter what happens in this financial market, no matter how much the government or the Fed messes up, they won't be financially ruined if they have a significant portion of their nest egg in physical gold and physical silver.
A reminder here, you're listening to the Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and our topic today is how to buy gold and silver. And Ken, let's get right to the solution. Moving a portion of our cash or investments into the historic stability of gold and silver. The goal, of course, is to stop losing money. I want to talk about the best ways to buy precious metals. But first, how do gold and silver actually protect a person's wealth? Let's say our retirement funds.
Well, as we know, Dave, gold and silver will always have value. They're a medium of exchange. They're a store of value. But more importantly, they tend to do very well when we're in financial crisis. There's a lot of stuff happening out there. It's a mess besides just money printing. But if you want something that will always have wealth, that's not paper, that's not just connected to the banking system, some funds that are outside of that, and something that has a long track record, Dave, of showing consistent returns. Gold has doubled in price every 7 years since 1971, and it's averaged a 10% return over the last 22 years. If clients are looking for something like that tangible, then you have to always go back to and focus on physical gold coins, gold bars, silver coins, and silver bars. And that will protect. It will be there when you need it. And for some people, most of their funds are wrapped up in retirement funds. So it would be a real good idea, Dave, to consider taking a portion of an existing IRA or possibly a previous employer's 401k or retirement account and possibly moving it sideways, some of it, to diversify into physical gold and silver and possibly consider a gold IRA.
And what kind of so-called gold investments do you caution against?
Well, I would caution investors on precious metal paper investments. I believe gold is a tangible asset, but it needs to be held in physical form. We don't want clients to think and feel that they're getting the benefits of gold through an ETF or through mining shares or through some sort of paper mutual fund. All of that stuff is just ways that the banks and advisors have come up with different products to keep clients' money invested in the fiat and in the central bank and in the paper markets. So we believe the best way to diversify, Dave, and the best way to own gold and silver, and the only way is to take money out of the banking system and to take investments out of the market, convert it sideways, take delivery of physical gold and silver in coin and bar form only.
Ken, I was watching a special on the History Channel the other day about gold, and it was very interesting. One of the points they made is that it is estimated that 2/3 of the world's gold has already been mined. That means there's only about a estimated 1/3 of gold left out there for people to find. And that would mean to me that gold would become even more and more valuable.
Yeah, more and more scarce, right, Dave?
Yeah.
And as demand increases, don't forget, more and more people are starting to realize on how weak our paper money is, and that it keeps buying less and less and less. Our fiat money, monopoly money, toilet paper money, whatever you want to call it. And as the demand for gold and silver increases, there's going to be even that much less available for investors to possibly own. So that is a concern. You just can't print gold and silver out of thin air. So that is a very valid point.
We're going to continue our look at how to buy gold and silver a little bit later in the program, and we'll highlight the best ways to convert your cash or investments into the security of gold and silver, ways that will bypass taxes, which we've already touched on a bit. But first, a reminder that you're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group. And in a moment, we're going to look at a specific precious metal that you can use to safeguard your wealth. And that's coming up right after this.
Sebastian Gorka here. The Biden-Harris administration is governing through an unprecedented number of executive orders. We have a good idea of what their agenda means for the country and for your finances. More debt, more regulations, slower growth, and higher taxes. There's even talk of a digital wallet currency and a so-called Great Reset. With massive new spending programs, the Fed is printing money even faster than before. This will likely cause the dollar to fall and gold prices to rise. That's why it's never been more important to own physical gold and silver, and the dealer I trust to do business with is veteran-owned Midas Gold Group. The experts at Midas Gold can even help you convert a portion of your IRA into physical gold and silver to stabilize your portfolio against the coming storm. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
And we're back with more of The Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Deno, and our topic today is how to buy gold and silver. By the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, we encourage you to visit our local office to meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, MIDAS, MidasGoldGroup.com. For those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Ken, now we turn to look at a specific precious metal product, and today, the gold Canadian maple leaf. And I have this in my collection.
Yeah, this coin, I got to admit, is beautiful coin. It's a government minted coin. It's considered bullion. It's struck in 24 karat gold, so that's 4 nines. If you see 0.9999 on a coin or a bar, Dave, that means it's 24 karat gold. I know you have some of those. Mm-hmm. So it's approved for in use in a gold IRA, the gold maple leaf. The Canadian maple leaf is from the prestigious Royal Canadian Mint, Dave. It boasts the title of one of the most popular pure bullion coins in the world.
Can you describe its appearance for us?
Yeah, sure, Dave. The diameter of this coin is a little bit smaller than, say, like an eagle or a buffalo, but it's a little thicker. So it appears to be a little bit of a smaller coin, but real nice. I might add that, listeners that are in the Phoenix or in the Thousand Oaks area, they could they can come into the office, or anybody out there in the 50 states listening, or maybe you just don't want to be around people at this time, which is understandable. You can go right to MidasGoldGroup.com, MIDAS, MidasGoldGroup.com, and there's a picture of the gold maple leaf as well as all of the other products that clients consider. But, what they will see here with the leaf, Dave, is it weighs just over 1 troy ounce. This is a standard version of the gold leaf. It's kind of changed over the years a little bit, especially the front picture of Queen Elizabeth. And yes, most of our clients would enjoy Lady Liberty on the front of their coin, Dave, versus Queen Elizabeth. It has a face value of 50 Canadian dollars, Dave, but as you know, it's worth much more than that because it's based on the weight and the purity of the gold. What we call the obverse of the coin, Dave, or the head side, depicts Queen Elizabeth II, and the reverse features the iconic Canadian maple leaf, which is something that I really enjoy looking at. This is a nice symbol. It's the national symbol of Canada, and it's real sharp. And I would also say that the counterfeiting technology on this particular coin is very high. Mm-hmm. The Royal Canadian Mint has done a great job when it comes to the quality of their coin and in the inability for counterfeiters to make a fake Canadian maple leaf, Dave. I would also note that there are other denominations to choose from. Some of the common ones are, a tenth of an ounce and a quarter ounce and a half of an ounce. They also make one as small as 1/25th of an ounce. Not that we see too many of those, Dave. That's really small. But it just shows you the fact that even gold, any investor out there could move a small portion of their assets into different size denominations of gold coins and gold bars. You don't have to be a billionaire to own gold. Dave, I know a lot of wealthy people, and they all own some gold. Not that they all talk about it, because it should be a private asset. But believe it or not, wealthy people, aristocrats, politicians, and every single American citizen right now, because our paper money is so dangerous, they should really consider and move a portion of their paper assets into physical gold. And the gold Canadian maple leaf is a good product, just as good as any of the others out there. It's actually one of my favorites.
The Canadian maple leaf, Ken, it also comes in silver versions as well, right?
Yeah, it does. And it also comes in platinum too, Dave. And we actually have some platinum ones available to look at in the office. And the coin's great. I mean, the maple leaf is a great coin. I don't have any problems with the quality of the maple leaf. And if gold and silver and platinum do well over the next 5 or 10 years and we see a big return, which we do expect, these particular coins, of the Canadian maple leaf, should appreciate at a faster pace than maybe some of the other bullion coins that are out there, and that's due to the quality and the reputation and the purity of the maple leaf itself.
Ken, thank you so much. Coming up in a moment, we're going to continue talking about how to buy gold and silver with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and that's coming up right after this.
The Fed lied when they initially said inflation was transitory. They knew it wasn't, but didn't want to panic the markets and you, the people. This is why they tried to keep secret the $125 trillion in loans they gave banks around the world. We've seen inflation ramping up, and Midas Gold Group thinks the Fed is way behind the curve with interest rates. It's time to call Midas Gold Group, 805-601-6000. You can add financial privacy and protection from inflation and profit potential to your investments through physical gold and silver. They provide you with the quality service and critical information you need without the pushy salesman. Get your portfolio reset with gold and silver. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
And we're back with more of the Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Deno, and our topic today, how to buy gold and silver. Now, if you live, as Ken has mentioned, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, you are encouraged to come and actually visit us at our local office and meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. And for those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Now, let's return to our topic today, how to buy gold and silver, and talk about ways to actually buy and possess the security of physical gold and silver. Ken, you've already touched on them a bit, but let's go back over them just briefly. What are the forms gold and silver are actually available in?
Well, great question, Dave. And why too, right? Because you just can't print your way out of this, and you can't fix a debt problem by issuing more debt. And we've seen reckless money printing over the last 20 or 30 years, and we have fiat money, which it's losing value every single day, right?
Yep.
But clients that are considering gold coins like government minted coins and silver coins like government minted silver coins, you could also consider rounds. Now, a round is like a bar; it's just circular form. It's typically made by a private company, very high purity. It could be a round or a bar. And these different products have different advantages, pros and cons to each. So although we don't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and if we are busy clients, just leave a message. We will call you back no later than the next trading day. But coins, bars, rounds are some of the different products that clients are able to take delivery of or possibly consider putting some of those inside of their gold IRA.
And most coins and bars, they're available in both gold and silver, right?
Yeah, not unlimited, availability, but yes, and we do see some time and delays popping up a little bit here in some of the government minted products. So even though the price of gold is just, kind of been sideways the last year or two, although recently it's starting to go up, the demand for these are extremely strong. Products are not unlimited. And whether it's a gold, silver, or even platinum coin or bar, I would encourage clients to possibly, while the price is still reasonable and these products are still available, I would encourage people to try and not to wait. The hourglass is flipped. This financial markets that we have, Dave, that are so bloated and in bubble mode and just kind of on the whim of every comment of the media and the Federal Reserve is so risky, and there's so much out there that can go wrong. And we're just talking about financial things. This is not an environment, people, where it's clear sailing. Not at all. And you have to be very, very careful about the wealth that you've accumulated or inherited, or maybe you just made some good investments, or maybe you just got lucky. It doesn't matter. All you can do is consider how you could hold on to a piece of it, not lose it all when all of this comes apart, and it will.
A reminder here, you're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and today our topic is how to buy gold and silver. And kind of wrapping up, Ken, in light of the instability of current economic conditions, what percentages of ready cash or Wall Street investments are your clients tending to convert to gold and silver?
Well, it's a little different for everybody, Dave. I would say the majority of clients are considering taking 10 to up to 25% of their paper assets that they have in the markets and in the banking system. And for true diversification and to get out of some paper, which is what we're talking about here, just to get some money out of the system itself, which is going digital. And we should be seeing more on that, Dave, towards the end of the summer here about digital currencies and central banking digital currencies. I would say the majority of our clients that are, foundational investors, good fundamentals, let's go back to some good principles when it comes to investing, they're considering 10 to up to 25% of their paper assets right now into the physical gold and silver market.
Ken, I trust my savings and my investments to Midas Gold Group because of the information and the guidance that I get from you about owning precious silver and gold. So thank you. Thank you so much. And that is going to bring us to the end of our time together here today on The Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group. And a reminder, opinions given here are not intended to be specific to your investment strategy, but rather general information to give you a better understanding of investing in precious metals. For answers to your questions, call Midas Gold Group at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers, that's 855-322-4653. And the website is MidasGoldGroup.com. The Midas Gold Group is proud to be America's #1 veteran-owned gold dealer, supporting veterans' causes with a portion of profits donated to the Wounded Warriors Project and the Semper Fi Fund. So your investment in your future is also an investment in the future of those who have bravely served the cause of freedom. Again, the number to call to speak directly with Midas Gold Group is 855 888-322-GOLD. Ken, thank you again so much for your time today.
Nice to talk to you, Dave, and we'll see you again next week.
That we will. I'm Dave Deno. Join us again next week at this same time for another edition of The Gold Standard.
The Gold Standard was brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.